In order to sneak into the Shaolin Temple, the man actually put laxatives in the tea of a group of monks. However, the monks walked past one after another, and not a single one of them went to drink the tea. The man was very anxious. Finally, an old monk couldn't resist the thirst and hunger. He picked up the tea and drank it all in one gulp. After that, the old monk shouldered the vegetable basket and caught up with the team ahead. The man quickly followed, waiting for the old monk to have a stomachache. Soon, the old monk's stomach started to ache terribly. He had no choice but to put down the vegetable basket and rush into the grass. The man finally got his chance. He picked up the load and mingled with the team. He came to the outside of the Shaolin Temple, but his staggering steps caught the attention of the senior monks. They realized that this man was definitely not a Shaolin disciple, so they drove the man out. There was another way to enter the Shaolin Temple, and that was to pretend to be a lay disciple of the Shaolin Temple. So the man made a hairstyle for himself using dry grass. With his intelligence and resourcefulness, he successfully entered the Shaolin Temple. But as soon as he entered the temple, the man was completely at a loss, because all the lay disciples were walking with a strange gait. They moved forward in unison with consistent steps. If anyone made a mistake, it would trigger the mechanism in the sandpit. The man was greatly alarmed and quickly hid aside. Seeing that everyone else had walked across the sandpit, the man was very anxious. Soon, another monk came along, and the man came up with an idea. He hugged the monk's body and followed behind the monk. So, the two of them walked across the sandpit closely together. But soon, the man encountered another problem. Because the disciples who entered the Shaolin Temple had to burn incense for the temple, the incense burner was placed in an iron box. Everyone had to open the iron door with their fingers before they could burn the incense. This was a test of the Shaolin Temple. However, the man was an imposter disciple. Since he hadn't learned the basic martial arts, he couldn't open that iron box at all. So, he said that the iron box was broken, but he was seen through by a monk. The monk grabbed the man and pushed him forward with force. The iron box instantly clamped the man's hand. The man let out a scream because of the burn, and his hand was still stuck in the iron box. Then, the man came to another iron door. The other disciples opened the door quickly, but his punches and kicks had no effect. So he let the other disciples go first and then tried to get through this door. Inside the door, the disciples were practicing martial arts. Some were even hitting the sandbags with their heads. The man was so scared that he almost fainted. Then he saw several disciples practicing their steps. Every time they took a step forward, the monk would throw out a tile. The ground was covered with oil. The man decided to give it a try, but he missed the tile and slipped to the ground. He knocked down the other disciples. The monk grabbed the man's foot and pushed him forward. As a result, his head was covered by a wooden bucket full of oil. The disciples who were practicing martial arts nearby couldn't help but laugh at him.